We don't need cars from Canada. We don't need energy from Canada. We don't need anything from Canada.
So Donald says he doesn't need Canada, which means your wine and alcohol companies don't need us either, right? Or maybe they do. Welcome back. Today's video dives into how the US wine industry is starting to struggle, while Canadian vineyards are starting to see the upside. That's what happens when your own leadership pushes allies away. The fallout comes home. Before we jump in, I want to thank everyone for helping us reach 5,000 subscribers. The support has been incredible. We've been reading through the comments, and they help to motivate us to continue. It's clear this community is growing and united, and your voices are a huge part of what keeps this going. If you're new here, hit subscribe and help us reach 10,000. Let's get into the video.
Lodi's wine industry facing economic uncertainty as the U.S.-Canada trade war continues.
There's a lot of inventory and a lot of orders that are sitting there that should have already been released and probably sold through already.
Lodi producers export nearly 30% of their wine to Canada.
The Liquor Control Board of Ontario is the largest wine buyer in the world, and their government decided they're going to remove all wine and alcohol from the shelves from America.
This guy makes it sound like it's the Canadian government's fault. Yes, we pulled American-made alcohol from our shelves, and it's because of your president. We didn't start this, but we're not going to sit back and take it either. This isn't random. It's a direct response to his actions. Actions have consequences.
Last month, Canada decided to boycott American wines, removing them from liquor and wine store shelves and out of restaurants in retaliation to President Trump's tariffs. And Ironstone Vineyards is one of the several businesses feeling the impacts firsthand.
Canada is about 10% of our overall sales, about 20% of our exports. So it's a hugely important market for us. We've been building our brands there for the last 30 years. So it has had a definite impact.
In Lodi, these actions come at a time when those in the wine industry have already been facing years of low sales, some even removing vineyards in response to a surplus in wine grapes last year.
A lot of people's economic livelihood depends upon this, and we saw like a 30 to 35% drop in revenue within our region last year because of the grapes going unharvested and a downward pressure on price.
And this loss creates a domino effect. It impacts irrigation companies, and it also impacts farm workers who are hired to harvest these grapes.
We've had orders canceled. We have wine that's sitting in warehouses in Canada that can't be sold. We've missed product releases. We've missed or have had to push back promotions and marketing campaigns that we had planned because, it's pointless to do it if there's no wine out there to be purchased.
This is the trickle-down effect. Wine pulled from shelves, warehouses full of unsold stock, vineyards overloaded, staff being laid off. All of it was preventable. And if you're a winery owner who voted for Donald, well, this is exactly what you voted for.
Wine producers in Shasta County are navigating the effects of tariffs. Jenny Ray LaRue is a co-owner of Matson Vineyards in Redding. Their staff produces over 28 wines, with all grapes coming from Shasta County. She says where they're seeing impacts is wine bottles. Their bottle producer gets their inventory from China. President Donald Trump has put 145% tariffs on Chinese goods, according to the National News Desk. China has responded by putting 125% tariffs on American goods. LaRue has ordered bottles earlier than normal to avoid boosted prices.
Even your wine bottles are being affected. And if there's one country you don't pick a fight with, it's China. They make the materials for everything. Donald said he holds all the cards. But here's the truth. China made the cards.
Looking forward, it looks like there would definitely be price increases and possibly bottle shortages, which would make a huge impact on the cost of our wine. So we decided to pre-purchase bottles and hold inventory in a way that we've never done before.
Now their team has about 5,000 bottles in stock, with another 5,000 on the way. This will last them through the end of this year. LaRue tells me their team aims to continue offering quality wine for customers while staying ready for whatever lies ahead.
We can absorb a little bit of a price increase, but we're a small local producer, and so we don't have a ton of volume that we can spread it against.
So you've stocked up enough bottles for the next year. That's great. I hope it works out. But Donald is still in office for another 40 plus months. Can small wineries really hold out that long? Now on this side of the border, the news is actually better. The boycott is helping Canadian wineries, and honestly, it's good to finally see some upside for us.
British Columbia wineries are ready to raise a glass, anticipating a banner year as the boycott of U.S. booze continues.
Absolutely, that's an opportunity.
Most of the country united to pull U.S. liquor last month in response to the escalating trade war.
When we look at American products, we don't even want to see them on the shelf anymore.
For local wineries, it's a unique opportunity with more space at stores and on restaurant menus. Busier tasting rooms too, as many Canadians choose to spend their travel dollars at home.
We're having some very early signs of both increased visitors, increased sales.
A dramatic change of fortune for BC wineries devastated by extreme cold last winter that wiped out the crop. Now, vines are recovering, demand is up, and the movement by provinces to boost domestic trade could lead to more BC wines on store shelves across the country.
Redirecting our spending to Canadian-made products is working. If U.S. wine is off the shelves, we turn to Canadian and international options, and they're seeing the benefit. It's unfortunate we're at this point with our neighbors, but right now, protecting our own industries comes first.
A lot of consumer sentiment certainly seems to be shifting and saying, I don't want U.S. wines. So I think it opens up a lot of doors.
South of the border, it's a bitter situation. Canada is the top export market for U.S. wine, worth more than $1 billion every year. At this winery, orders have been cancelled, and much of its product is stuck in warehouses in Ontario, Quebec, and other provinces.
Well, it's frustrating. We'd love to have it back out on the shelves, and we'd love to be back doing our business as usual.
For now, the surge in national pride continues.
A lot of people who've never tasted our wine hardly have any choice but to try some of the Okanagan wines. And once they taste them, I'm telling you, they're going to keep buying them.
No shortage of optimism and wine as the busy summer season soon begins.
What he said is true. When U.S. wine disappears from shelves, people start trying something new. And I'm glad more are discovering BC-made wines. Let us know in the comments what wines you've switched to. Share your favorites, so others can find new wine options both local and internationally. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe to help us reach more Canadians. And to close things out, here's a clip that made me smile. U.S. alcohol heading straight into storage.